Hey, this is Cookie, and I have bad news and good news. Bad news, my Meemaw passed away. The good news, I bought a slide whistle. No friends, huh? Would you just get out of prison? And our wrong answer of the game is brought to you by...
Legal puppets. We've got lawyer puppets, judge puppets, grand jury puppets, bailiff puppets, and new for this season, assistant district attorney puppets. You won't object to our prices.
Pick the wrong answer associated with our sponsor to win a fabulous prize and big cash. So why not get started?
Get ready, time for question.
Let's begin with, Elvis has left the building. So I've been thinking, the dog goes woof, the cat goes meow, ducks go quack, and fish go blub. But what does Guy Fawkes say? Ring ding ding, I discovered Florida. Wah pa pa pa, let's blow up Parliament. Ha-tee, 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 I'm a Three Musketeers. Guy Fawkes is best known, besides being the face on those masks Anonymous wears, for trying to blow up Parliament in 1605. I'm considering blowing up KXCW rock radio if they don't stop playing What Does the Fox Say during my morning commute. Why are you still playing that song?
Oh, Mama, gonna tell you what I'm gonna do. Say it so.
Why not try the Darjeeling Extremely Limited? And it's a whimsical this or that. I'm going to read off 7 items, and for each one, I want you to tell me if it's a character from a Wes Anderson film or a species of endangered tree. If it's a Wes Anderson character, press the left arrow. If it's an endangered tree, press the right arrow. All right, let's get started. Royal Tenenbaum. St. Helens. O.C. Pagoda. Monkey Puzzle. Not bad, but it's going to take more than that to save the Monkey Puzzle tree. Endangered trees in Wes Anderson films. 2 things I pretend to care about to impress other people.
Dance with me, Disco 3.
Let's try Wreck-It Ralph is just a Hamlet ripoff. Which of these Disney animated films is very, 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 very loosely based on a story by Hans Christian Andersen? Tangled, Pinocchio, Frozen, or Lilo? Frozen is loosely, and I mean loosely based on the Hans Christian Andersen story, The Snow Queen, in that there is a snowy queen, and pretty much every other single thing in the story is completely different. So if you're a Hans Christian Andersen purist, let it go. Let it go! Bucker up for Et tu, mysteriously floating knife? What would be most appropriate for Julius Caesar to say after fighting and defeating the Invisible Man? Veni vidi vici, veni vici. Veni vidi vici is Latin for I came, I saw, I conquered. So if Julius Caesar defeated the Invisible Man, why I have no idea, he would most likely omit the I saw portion. I would think fighting the Invisible Man would be a Pyrrhic victory, because with that much blind groping, you're bound to repeatedly grab genitals. How about, I can't hockey mask the pain? Let's say a proud hockey mom is giving birth to a future goalie right this second. If it's a traditional between-the-legs birth, in hockey terms, where is the doctor receiving that baby when he or she comes out? In the mom's 1 hole, in the mom's 2 hole, in the mom's 4 hole? In hockey, the space between a goalie's legs is called a 5 hole. And if you give birth to a hockey player, you're always guaranteed tickets in the C-section. Round 1 is in the books, and you're in pretty good shape for now. Keep in mind, in round 2, everything is worth twice as much. Let's keep going. Take a good look at. Holla to me, not at me. Yo, I'm gonna hook you up with another question. You know what I'm saying? Yes, I study entomology. Yes, I study kinesiology. Yes. Linguistics is the study of language, or as I like to call it, the study of word noises that have brain meanings, but that's just me. I'm a talk-gooder. I happen to be something of a student of linguistics. It's how I became fluent in High Elvish. Question
7. Get up and shake your monkey bang.
Try this on for size. Quick quirky quiz with quips and quacks. What does the Q in NASDAQ stand for? Quotations, quantifiers. The Q in NASDAQ stands for quotations. So taking what the other letters mean, NASDAQ stands for... You know what? No one gives a shit. Next question. Oh wait, I promised to quack. There you go.
Follow me down to the sea.
Say hello to... It's too cold for hot fuzz. Where can you see Simon Pegg in Winnipeg? A screening of Shaun of the Dead in Saskatchewan. A screening of Mission Impossible 3 in Manitoba. A screening of The Adventure... Winnipeg, sometimes affectionately referred to as the Peg, is the largest city in Manitoba, Canada. And you'll also see Frost on the ground there. Nick Frost. He's clumsy. Next up, stand up for your rights. Let's say Louis C.K. has a son named Louis, and he has a son named Louis, and so forth until they've established a dynasty of stand-up comedians named Louis. Which one would you expect to be attacked by an audience revolt and beheaded on stage? Louis C.K. the 14th? Louis the 16th was captured during the French Revolution and beheaded. The other Louis died of natural causes like old age. But right before Louis XVI got his head chopped off, he did a great bit about how his 5-year-old is a jerk. I'll miss him. Here we have Ancient Farmville. Hey, help me finish this song. Old MacDonald had a farm, E-I-E-I-O, and on that farm he had some Chinese pandas, E-I-E-I-O, Australian kangaroos, E-I-E-I-O, Indian elephants, E-I-E-I-O. The Olmecs were an ancient Mexican civilization known for their sculptures of giant stone heads. And I don't know how old MacDonald farmed jaguars. I've been milking this one all day, and all I've gotten is 1 cup of milk. I think that's milk. Brace yourself for the attack. When you see 2 clues that match, press your A button. 2,000 big one. I'm sorry, was I talking too much? Fine, here's your clue. I loved you as Nebuchadnezzar. What Bible character did I love these people as? And say what you want about the Old Testament pharaohs, but I've learned a lot from them on how to motivate employees. Get back to work, morons! What? Man, why are all these frogs falling from our ceiling? Come on, is somebody gonna fix this damn frog leak?
You don't know Jack!
What you think you uncovered?
Hi, I'm Cookie Masterson, and nobody spoiled That's So Raven for me. I'm halfway through it. Oh, God, you're by yourself? Please don't tell anyone I was here. And today's wrong answer of the game is being brought to you by...
1 a month vitamins. Our slow-release formula means you get all the vitamins you need for 1 whole month in 1 huge f***ing pill.
If you happen to find our sponsor's wrong answer of the game, you'll be rewarded with big prizes and cash. All right, let's do this thing.
Get ready, time for question. 1.
Right off the bat, Tweedledee and Tweedledead. So I'm afraid I have some sad news. Last night, our newest intern, Freddie, got food poisoning from some bad oysters. The doctors did everything they could, but he's no longer with us. Like my former intern, Freddie, which of these Alice in Wonderland characters is most likely to have an obituary that reads, ate some bad oysters? The Queen of Hearts, the March Hare, the Mock Turtle, or the Walrus? In Through the Looking Glass, the Walrus and the Carpenter trick some unsuspecting oysters into following them down the beach so they can gobble them all up. Which is not very nice. Why can't we all just be nice to each other? If Freddie were here with us today, he'd agree.
Cookie, Freddy's not dead. They said he's gonna be fine.
What? And why isn't he at work? When he comes back, fire that motherfucker.
Oh, Mama, gonna tell you what I'm gonna do. Tell you so.
Up next, look at those pearly whats? What dental product could a beaver purchase that would really bring out the color of its front teeth? Crest 3D black strips, Listerine oranging, pre-brush rinse, Arm & Hammer... Next time, try this. Beavers have orange front teeth. See, what's attractive to humans may not be attractive to all animals. We might prefer light brown teeth like the ones I have, but that's actually very rare in the animal kingdom.
Dance with me, Disco 3.
Here's one for you. The truthiness shall set you free, and it's a late night this or that. I'm going to read off 7 titles, and for each one, you tell me if it's part of a typical Catholic Mass or a recurring segment on the Colbert Report. If it's Catholic Mass, press the left arrow. If it's the Colbert Report, press the right arrow. We good? Here we go. The Collect. The Word. Threat. Washing the hand. Fraction of the host. Tip of the hat. A tone phone. You get a perfect rapport card. Christianity and Stephen Colbert. 2 things given their start by a nice Jewish man. This one's called, I Need to Have My Lungs Retouched. Which photo description of Instagram would accurately describe the last pack of cigarettes before filters became commonplace? Cigarettes from the 1920s, hashtag no filter. Cigarettes. Due to negative reports published on the adverse effects of cigarettes, cigarette filters started flooding the markets in the 1950s. And thank God, because those things used to be dangerous. Coming up, C is for, well, you know the rest. If instead of a cookie jar, Sesame Street's Cookie Monster accidentally stuck his hand into a canopic jar, what might you hear him exclaim? Me think me just grab fossilized poo. Me feel human organs. You're a monster. Smart people choose this. Canopic jars were used in ancient Egypt to store and preserve the internal organs removed from human corpses during the mummification process. And with his impulse control problems, you know Cookie Monster downed a couple of livers before he noticed something wrong. That'll bring an end to our first round, and you haven't even broken a sweat. Don't forget, all the questions in round 2 are worth double. Okay then, here we go. Open wide for fame and misfortune. You're not going to believe this. On speakerphone, I have famed actor Sylvester Stallone. Can you hear me, Mr. Stallone? Hello? Wait, what happened?
Whoopsie, that's not the radio.
Old man, did you just hang up on Sylvester Stallone?
Oh, hi, Corky. I'm glad you're here. I'm having some trouble remembering something.
What's that thing? Who's that fella? Where's that scroodly-up-doodly-doo? It's Foggy Facts with Old Man.
Scroodly-up-doo, I forget.
All right, old man. What are you having trouble remembering this time?
Well, it was a vacation I took a long time ago. It was this tiny little place next to the sea. I lost my retirement fund in their fancy casino. I almost got run over by a race car. And that pretty girl from the Hitchcock movies was there. Where in the heck was I?
Is it Corsica, Montenegro, Saint-Tropez, or does Monaco ring a bell?
Hot dog, that's it. I'm sorry for hanging up the phone on your celebrity friend, Corky, but I want to make it up to you. I have Mr. Burt Reynolds in the hallway. Hey, Burt, come on in.
Hello, everybody.
Hi, Burt Reynolds. Yeah, old man, that's the crazy pigeon lady from the park.
Hey, look, Corky, take it easy on him. Life after Hollywood ain't easy.
Question 7. Get up and shake your monkey bang.
And now, Ken's got a great car, but no genitalia. What would a Matryoshka Barbie doll look like? A Barbie with a head that bobbles around? A Matryoshka doll, sometimes known as a Russian nesting doll, is a series of progressively smaller dolls placed inside each other. And you know what that means? More outfits!
Follow me down to the sea.
Coming up next, to solve this riddle, you must be pet smart. Because of the animals it shares body parts with, which of these food brands definitely would not appeal to a sphinx? Fancy Feast cat food, Katie birdseed, Purina dog chow, or McDonald's... Now pay attention. Sphinxes are part human, part lion, and sometimes part bird, but never part canine. As a result, they mouth off, claw up the furniture, and sometimes think their reflection is another sphinx. Here's a good one. The Kitty Pride Parade. Back when I heard that Juno's star Ellen Page came out, it got me thinking. Let's say the Roman goddess Juno also decided to come out of the closet. What might you hear her tell her husband? Sorry, Zeus, I like women. Sorry, Poseidon, guys just aren't my thing. Sorry, Saturn, nothing beats a lady. Or sorry, One right answer coming up. Jupiter was the king of the Roman gods, along with his queen, Juno. Of course, all the other gods would pretend to be surprised, even though it's been obvious for years. It's time for Curl It Like Whoever is the David Beckham of curling. What's the best way to tell people the name of your curling team? Ice Ice Babies is my curling panel. Total ice. Stupid guys finish last too. Oh, what a coincidence. The correct answer is rink is another name for curling team. Another name for a curling team is a curling who gives a shit. Welcome to the attack. Ah, I see you don't need me for anything. It's all yours. Just duet already. You two collaborated on what famous duet? Good luck. That's all she wrote! I've actually been recording a duet with Old Man. Here's a snippet. You are my rock!
You are my rock!
You are my shooting star!
Shooting star!
Whenever I need you,
Whenever I need you,
you're never far!
You're never far!
Old Man, I love you!
Yeah!
You don't know Jack!
Stuff like us shouting.
I am Cookie, and if you're like me, then I must kill you and absorb your power. Playing by yourself? Well, at least you won't come in second. And the wrong answer of the game is brought to you by
Overgrown Backyard Supply Store. Because rusted out old washing machines don't just buy themselves.
Find the wrong answer associated with our sponsor to get yourself some sweet prizes and bonus cash. So let's get to it.
Get ready, time for question.
One!
To get started, sorry for all the phallic imagery. You know, Sigmund Freud once said, sometimes a cigar is just a cigar. And that's true, everything doesn't have to secretly, subconsciously be sexual. That said, which common cigar size would look like the smallest penis? Presidente, Corona, Churchill, or Gigante? Sweet dreams. Were you thinking of this one? Compared to these other monster cigars, the Corona is only a respectable 5.5 to 6 inches. And it has a girth of, you know what, I'm gonna stop talking about this.
Oh, Mama, gonna tell you what I'm gonna do. Tell you so.
May I introduce Kangaroo, Peanut, Albert Einstein, or Uranus?
Kangaroo, Peanut, Albert Einstein, or Uranus.
A character in the game series Tekken. Kangaroo Peanut Albert Einstein. A boxing kangaroo named Roger is a recurring character in the popular fighting game franchise Tekken. There's also a boxing raptor in the game, but I'm saving that fact for our Chevy Cavalier, Madame Curie, Potato, or Boxing Raptor series of questions.
Dance with me, Disco 3.
This one's known as Grimace. How could you best describe the bromantic relationship going on with the brothers Grimm? A bro-on-bro bromance? A bro-on-bro-on-bro? There were two brothers Grimm, Jacob and Wilhelm. Legend has it that in his later years, Jacob Grimm fell under a terrible curse, but Wilhelm saved his life with a fist bump of true love. And on its way, the either-or conundrum. And a squared plus b squared equals this or that. I'm going to read off 7 items, and for each one I want you to tell me if it's a famous mathematical theorem or the title of an episode of The Big Bang Theory. If it's a mathematical theorem, press the left arrow. If it's an episode of The Big Bang Theory, press the right arrow. Cool, let's do it. The vengeance formulation. The park. The triangle in it. The egg. The friendship. The cold. You only made a little bang. I like The Big Bang Theory. Finally, there's a show that treats me like an intellectual equal. Man, I cannot get this toast out of the toaster. Stupid fork. Get that toast out of there. Take a stab at. Nice to meet you, lady. Let's say Lady Gaga were on her way to another award ceremony, but this time sporting a kosher meat suit. If she wanted to keep it kosher, what crazy mode of transportation should she not use? A giant egg wagon? A giant wheelbarrow of flour? Oh, I'm gonna enjoy this. This would have worked. Mixing meat and dairy is definitely against kosher law. But everything else Lady Gaga does is totally religiously acceptable. That's the end of a thrilling first round, and hopefully you'll do even better in the next round. Remember, in round 2, every question is worth double. And remember, the wrong answer of the game is still there for the taking. All right, you ready? Too bad. Here's one I like to call, I had a bad stream. Which odd, super-specific movie genre might Netflix use to categorize the film Eraserhead? Quirky, dysfunctional families set in a bombshell. It might be easier to call that category Nightmare Fuel. It was begging to be picked. David Lynch's 1977 classic film Eraserhead is set in a nightmarish industrial town where the protagonist has a son that looks like a mutant. Netflix doesn't really have the gritty industrial horror films featuring mutant babies category yet, so I would just try looking for it under quirky romantic comedies.
Question 7. Get up and shake your monkey bang.
Coming up, a grisly situation. I'm pretty excited, and frankly a little scared that we're bringing a real live bear into the studio for this next question.
Sorry, Cookie. The dare had to drop out at the last second, so you got me instead.
One's made of skin, one's made of wood, so who's the dummy?
Not me.
We don't get the bear?
Not you get me, Dilly O'Brien, Dilly O'Brien's sister, who looks a lot like Dilly in a wig. That is actually a Ceteroturgeon who just looks...
Yeah. We don't need to explain it again. Just ask the bear question, Betty.
Okay. Which kind of dare is the most cunning dare in the world? The polar dares, black dares, brown dares.
Panda bears? I know these questions can be hard to read, but they're not that hard to read. Here's what you meant to pick. Brown bears, which grizzly bears are part of, are the most common and least endangered bears in the world.
I suppose you want me to leave now.
Does a bear shit in the woods?
Yes, it does. I saw a bear in the woods when I was a little sapling. It was horrible. There's strays everywhere and it gets stuck in their fur. And there's bits of squirrel and salmon in their Oh, and the smell. It smells like...
The f*** is wrong with you? It was a rhetorical question. Get out!
Follow me down to the sea.
Next up, you never forget your first sniff. If Coco Chanel's first perfume had set a precedent for what the first of anything should be called, what would be true? January 1st would be January 3rd, Rocky would be Rocky 5, Pope Francis would be Pope Francis the 7th, or your first child would be your... Hate to disappoint you, but... Wait, no I don't. No, I'll get this. The first fragrance sold by Coco Chanel back in 1921 was Chanel No. 5. So the first Rocky movie would be called Rocky 5. This numbering system was also used by another modern classic, Mambo No. 5. Here's one for you. Is our children learning... I was watching a little Nick Jr. yesterday during my me time, and it seems like all their show titles are just nonsense words. Lalaloopsy, Team Umizoomi. Because every word in its title is an actual word in the English language, which of these Nick Jr. shows might be the most educational? The Backyardigans, Yo Gabba Gabba, Wow Wow Wubsy, or Bubble Guppies? Bubble is a real word, obviously, and so is guppies. Nick Jr. did it. They titled an entire show using actual English. Of course, that can sometimes be misleading. I've tried to watch that Dora the Explorer before, and half the time it sounds like she's speaking a completely different language. Here's a good one. Cornblakes. What might it sound like if Frosted Flakes mascot Tony the Tiger read the opening line of William Blake's famous poem, The Tiger? Tiger, tiger, burning bright! Tiger, tiger, What a pity. Oh, you're gonna kick yourself. The first line of William Blake's The Tiger is Tiger, tiger, burning bright. Or in Tony the Tiger speak, burning bright! It's not a terribly long poem, but it takes Tony the Tiger like 7 hours to read it out loud. Step right up to the... Of course, who wants to hear my yapping? Oh, I'm still doing it. Sorry. Here you go. Exit stage. Right. You left what TV show before it finished? Good luck. There you have it! I've tried to leave my role as the host of You Don't Know Jack, but can never actually do it on account of a curse that gypsy put on me. This is my prison now. Oh. Alright, see you next time.
You Don't Know Jack!
Microphone, test one.
Hi, I'm Cookie Masterson, and for just 15 cents a day, you can give me 15 cents a day. I'd say it was sad you're playing alone, but you already know that. And our wrong answer of the game is sponsored by
Neptune. Now that Pluto is out of the way, we're the last planet in the solar system. And that's kick-ass, right? Neptune.
Try to choose the wrong answer, brought to you by our sponsor, to get prizes and cash. All right, let's get this party started.
Get ready, time for question.
One.
To begin with, the castaway in the hat. If Dr. Seuss's Horton the Elephant ended up stranded on Elephant Island, what might he say to put a positive spin on his situation? An island's an island no matter how underground. An answer's an answer no matter how devoid of logic. Why didn't you pick this? Elephant Island is a mountainous island off the coast of Antarctica. So yeah, it's pretty cold. Probably too cold for elephants. And they probably have to rename the book Horton Hears a Polar Bear Trying to Kill Him.
Oh, Mama, gonna tell you what I'm gonna do. Say it so.
How about the best pet is a shamed pet? So you've probably seen this internet meme, dog shaming, where dog owners take pictures of their sad-looking dogs next to handwritten notes about what they did wrong. I peed on my owner's pillow. Stuff like that. What note would you not see in a dog-shaming picture of Cujo? I trapped a woman and her child in a car. I killed a police officer. Ooh, ouch. Watch how easy this is. In both the book and the movie, Cujo traps a woman and her child in their car and kills several people, including a neighbor and a police officer. But the entire family that owns him is actually out of town during his rampage. If you ask me, they're the ones who should have to pose for a shaming picture. We left town without properly caging our dog, and he murdered a bunch of innocent people. Hilarious.
Dance with me, Disco 3.
And now, there's melanoma on that pigskin. Suppose you're at a University of Virginia or UVA football game, and the students start doing the wave. If the UVA students' wave acts like the sun's UVA waves, how will the wave look? The crowd will make many short ripples. The crowd will make a few longer ripples. The crowd will make some long and some short ripples. Or the crowd will... Nuh-uh. Ready for this? The sun's UVA rays are referred to as long wave rays, while UVB rays are called short wave rays, and UVC rays are even shorter. The longer waves are what make UVA rays penetrate deeper into your skin and the earth. So that's why people who start the wave are always shirtless and covered in body paint, for protection. And here I thought they were just assholes. May I introduce, it's not a tuma, but it is a this or that. I'm gonna read off 7 phrases. For each one, tell me if it's a lesson from the book All I Really Need to Know I Learned in Kindergarten, or one of the American Film Institute's top 100 movie quotes of all time. If it's a kindergarten lesson, press the left arrow. If it's a classic movie quote, press the right arrow. Alrighty then, here it comes. A boy's best friend is his mother. Clean up your own mess. Keep your friends safe. Play fair. No wire. After all, tomorrow is another... Show you the money, but not all of it because you weren't perfect. Okay, one more bonus question. Here we go. Movie quote or kindergarten lesson. A census taker once tried to test me. I ate his liver with some fava beans and a nice Chianti. You give up? It's both. Trick question.
5 fingers!
Bucker up for. How do you draw a Carl's Jr.? Which of these restaurant chains' logos does not contain an image described by the restaurant name itself? Red Lobster's, the Cheesecake Factory's, Planet Hollywood's, Allow Me. There's a lobster in the Red Lobster logo, a planet in the Planet Hollywood logo, and a buffalo in the Buffalo Wild Wings logo. But there's nothing cheesecake or factory related depicted in the Cheesecake Factory logo. Which is why I never eat there. Is it a cheesecake restaurant? Is it a factory? How the heck am I supposed to know what I'm getting myself into? I think you're a little lost in space. But you won't be for much longer because you've just won this globe of Neptune. You can't tell one uninhabitable area of frozen methane from the next without it. Today's wrong answer of the game earns you $4,000. Enjoy. That brings a close to round one, and your score is pretty much just fairly okay. Keep in mind, all the prizes are doubled in round two. Okay, let's see what's next. Try this on for size. Epic Jail. Which of these Batman villains would most likely end up in the prison from Orange is the New Black? Penguin, Poison Ivy, Joker, or... Orange is the New Black is set in a female prison, and Poison Ivy is the only female Batman villain here. I get so confused with that series. Is it a drama or is it a comedy? I mean, there are a lot of heavy, meaningful scenes, but on the other hand, there's a dude who dresses up like a bat.
Question 7. Get up and shake your funky bang.
Why not try energy in its most tasteless form? I like the types of questions that leave a waxy film in my mouth.
Cookie fortune, bread. Cookie fortune, necessary.
Okay. Let's read this sucker. To err is human, to forgive divine. Okay, which of these baseball scores describes a shortstop in need of divine forgiveness? E1, E3, E6, or E... Oh, honestly. In baseball scoring, the pitcher is numbered 1, the catcher 2, first baseman 3, second baseman 4, third baseman 5, and the shortstop is 6. And the E is short for error. But don't look for forgiveness from me, buddy. You'll just have to live with your error, your millions of dollars, the endless parade of women, but not my forgiveness.
Follow me down to the sea.
This one's known as low-hanging fruit. If retailer Lane Bryant started pairing their plus-sized clothing with full-bodied red wines for an enhanced shopping experience, what might they advertise? The Chianti collection, the Beaujolais collection, the Sauvignon Blanc? Here's another trivia question for you. You know what Blanc means? It doesn't mean red. I so wanted you to pick this one. Don't let the name fool you. The Petite Syrah grape produces one of the most robust full-bodied red wines, perfect for a full-bodied woman in a plus-sized red dress. The enhanced shopping experience would also feature the salespeople engaging you in heavy conversation over weighty topics. Coming up next, Uber Scary. So I started using Uber, you know that private car service app? Because I refuse to hail a cab like a chump. The only time I stretch my arm out anymore is to high-five my Uber driver. A person who has my information but I don't know at all. Hey! Which cab driver should Uber not hire? Because he's a mass murderer. Latka Gravis, John Winger, Archie Bunker, or Travis Bickle? Oh, hell no! Let me show you something. Travis Bickle is the serial killer played by Robert De Niro in Martin Scorsese's 1976 classic film Taxi Driver. I find the whole mass murderer cab driver stereotype offensive. Just because somebody wants to make an honest living murdering people doesn't mean there's secretly some crazy wacko who drives complete strangers around the city for money. This one's called OUSOB. I love when people just use initials instead of a first name. J.K. Rowling, T.S. Eliot, others. Okay, shape up, because this one could be worth extra points if you get it right.
It's the put the choices into order, then buzz in and see if you are right. Question.
Put these people in the following order. The actor from the Hughleys, the author of Lady Chatterley's Lover, the mystery man who hijacked a 727 in 1971 and then escaped by parachute. DB, DL, DH, DL, DH, DB, DH, DB, DL, or DL, DB, DH. DL Hughley starred in the Hughleys, D.H. Lawrence wrote Lady Chatterley's Lover, and D.B. Cooper is the name used for a mystery hijacker from the early 70s who was never caught. That earned you an extra $1,000. Ah, the 70s, when all you needed to get away with a crime was a parachute. Brace yourself for the attack. Ah, you already know the rules. Off you go. Let's get it conned. What film did these actors con their way through? Good luck. Something of a con man myself. One time I ran this scam where I posed as the host of a fake game show. I would promise the players all sorts of money for answering trivia questions correctly, but once the game ended, I would just pocket the money and run off. Anyway...
You don't know Jack!
I am Cookie, and that's my carbon monoxide detector, but don't worry, I don't smell anything. It's a false alarm. One player. All right, this is going to be a party. And your wrong answer of the game is being sponsored by...
Hats for rats. What? They're good enough for medical testing, but not good enough for a hat? Let them have a hat, for God's sake. It's all they've got.
Sniff out our sponsor's wrong answer of the game, and you'll end up with a great prize and serious cash. Okay, no turning back.
Get ready, time for question.
One.
Okay, to get things started, I specialize in ailments of the man-bear pig. If an ENT doctor were to inspect the children from the cartoon South Park, what would she probably notice about them? They're missing their N's and their T's. They're missing their E's, their N's, and their T's, as Kenny would say. You goddamn fucking idiot! It's so obvious. An ENT doctor specializes in ear, nose, and throat. The South Park kids have throats, but no visible ears or noses. But considering the horrible things that come out of their throats alone, perhaps it's for the best.
Oh, Mama, gonna tell you what I'm gonna do. Say it so.
Open wide for Microwave Eggman on High for 7 minutes, and it's a trippy dis or dat. I'm going to read off 7 items, and for each one, I want you to tell me if it's something mentioned in the lyrics of the Beatles song I Am the Walrus, or an ingredient in Stouffer's meatloaf and gravy frozen dinner. If it's in I Am the Walrus, press the left arrow. If it's in Stouffer's meatloaf and gravy frozen dinner, press the right arrow. Okay, let's move. Cornstarch. Cornflake. Yellow matter custard. Penguin. That performance wasn't cooked all the way through. And if there's one thing that can last longer than frozen meatloaf, apparently it's Ringo Starr.
Dance with me, Disco 3.
Take a good look at Yo-Yo Ma is so sick of your bitching. So, you know how people are always saying, oh, look, I'm playing the world's smallest violin when I try to tell them my very serious problems? That really ticks me off. If I wanted to tell somebody who's whining about their problems, oh, look, I'm participating in the world's smallest string quartet, how many tiny violins would I need to pretend to play? 1 tiny violin, 2 tiny violins. Very good. There are 4 people in a violin quartet. Unfortunately, I didn't ask about a violin quartet. I asked about a string quartet. So you might know what a quartet means, but you don't know anything about culture. You can count, but can you feel? Want to see the right answer? A string quartet typically consists of 2 violin players plus a violist and a cellist. And not one of them gives a shit about your problems. Up next, from space, Earth looks so apple-teeny. What would you see on the science show Cosmos if it were really about drinking Cosmos? Neil deGrasse Tyson buzzing from vodka? Neil deGrasse Tyson drunk on gin? You're cut off. Here's where the money is. Cosmopolitans are made from vodka, triple sec, and a few other ingredients. And while the show would be entertaining, it would probably just get people arguing about whether Cosmos were perfected over time, or if they came from a giant mixologist in the sky.
5 fingers.
And on its way, Skyfall out, boy. So I finally got around to seeing Skyfall, and...
Oh, yoo-hoo! Cookie Masterson! It's me!
Oh, great, it's Billy again.
It's not Dilly, it's Dutty!
Oh, great, it's Betty again.
One's made of skin, one's made of wood, so who's the dummy?
Not me! I've decided to become a famous movie actress.
Again, this wig is not convincing at all, Billy.
So I'm going to audition to be a Bond girl.
Whoa, careful, Betty. It's usually not safe to be a Bond girl. Have you seen a James Bond movie?
I've seen pretty much all of them. Which James Bond girl gets killed before the end of the movie? Trissie Galore, Clancy O'Toole.
You're just trying to make me say that word, and I'm not going to say it. Where's that confounded right answer?
Trissie Galore, Nary Goodnight, and Octotrissie make it to the end of the movie, but Clancy O'Toole drowns in a swimming pool in Diamonds Are Forever. So I'll just survive in Dawn's girl like Tussie Galore or Octotussie.
Please, just stop saying Tussie.
I'm not saying Tussie, I'm saying Tussie.
This is making me uncomfortable.
Well, don't be such a Tussie.
Round 1 is complete, and I'm happy to report you have the best score. Remember, I'm doubling the value of each question in round 2. And don't forget, keep an eye out for the wrong answer of the game. It's still out there. It's time. It's time for Witty Twister. So I've been watching the HBO series Girls, and wow, every episode has its star Lena Dunham taking off her shirt. They must save a lot of money on wardrobe for that show. If Lena Dunham only starred in shows that featured nudity, which musical could she be in? Pippin, Man of La Mancha, Miss Saigon, or Hair? Want to see the answer? The musical Hair, which is set in the late 1960s to early 70s, sports a famous nude scene, so Lena would feel comfortable doing this show. I once saw a production of Steel Magnolias that featured full front nudity until I realized it was a strip club filled with older women.
Question 7. Get up and shake your monkey bang.
Take a stab at, we're too po for this house. What kind of homeowner's insurance would be most important to whoever owns the House of Usher from Edgar Allan Poe's story? Giant monster rodent infestation coverage? House randomly crumbling to pieces coverage? Here's where the money is. At the end of Poe's The Fall of the House of Usher, the house splits in half and then crumbles to the ground for no worldly reason. The point is, if you ever find yourself in the middle of an Edgar Allan Poe story, just make sure you get full coverage on every possible thing. No, there are no giant rats in the House of Usher. But hopefully there are some rats in your life because you've just won a rat pimp hat from Hats for Rats. Your rat will be the life of the party with this pimp hat. Gold rat teeth sold separately. This wrong answer of the game comes with a bundle of cash worth $8,000. Congratulations.
Follow me down to the sea.
Say hello to Honey Crunches of Oats.
Cookie fortune, cookie necessary.
And now, for your entertainment, I will do an impression of a man eating a fortune cookie, using nothing but my hands and this fortune cookie. Pretty uncanny impression, huh? Okay, let's see. There's no such thing as a sure thing. Okay, but if I were betting on the ponies, which of these would be the closest thing to a sure thing? Betting on Mr. Steroids, 1-to-1 odds. Betting on Future Glue, 2-to-5 odds. Betting on the main vein, 7-to-5 odds. Or betting on Please Don't... I so wanted you to pick this one. Of the horses listed here, Future Glue with 2-to-5 odds would be the favorite to win, and so, in theory, the closest thing to a sure thing. And that's good enough for me. Hey, Steve the sound guy, put a tin hayseed on Future Glue to jump the gusset.
I don't think those are real things you just said, Mr. Masterson.
Don't give me the quick and the shift, Steve. Just do it.
Whatever you say, Mr. Masterson.
Oh, some people these days, they couldn't tell a hound's whistle from a saw hair to save their grandmother's biscuits. Here's one I like to call How to Eat a Ginger. Say Disney decides to do a big screen adaptation of the folktale The Gingerbread Man. Which existing Disney character could they pull out of retirement to play the animal that finally eats the gingerbread man? Mufasa, Robin Hood. In the Disney adaptation of Robin Hood is a fox, just like the character that eventually tricks and eats the gingerbread man in the classic story, so he could conceivably play the part. I think it's finally time a Disney movie ended with the main character being eaten alive. I thought that's how The Little Mermaid was gonna end. This one's known as That Question of the Month. If Tampax were a company that was always in the red, what would be true? Tampax is profitable. Tampax just... When a company is in the red, it means they're losing money. And I gotta say, it does sound better than Tampax being in the black. Welcome to the attack. When you... Oh, you know all about the attack. Lovely. Here's your clue. If I'm lying, I'm dying. Lions, lions, and more lions. Oh my. That's all she wrote! I used to think lions were pretty dangerous animals, but according to the YouTube videos I keep seeing, all they really want to do is hug people. That's why I brought one into the studio with me today. Aw, look at him. Come here, buddy. Give us a hug. Come on. Ah! What's happening?